Something I've always preached on this channel is to not limit your wardrobe based on what the clothes say on the label. For the longest time now, I've just been buying clothes I like the look of, as long as they fit right, even if they're technically labelled as women's pieces. I honestly consider it a fashion hack, because you can often get certain cuts and silhouettes in the women's section that would cost a premium in the men's section. For example, if you like the wide, boxy mock neck sweaters and t-shirts, they're often priced quite high in menswear because they're unusual, whereas in women's wear they're fairly common and you can often get them for great prices. Another thing I always go on about is how I like shorter length tops, because I think it suits my body type better. Shorter length or cropped tops are getting more popular in menswear, but they're still pretty rare. So I'm always looking in the women's section in store or online because their tops are often shorter by default. So with all that in mind, I want to show you some recent women's wear pieces that I've picked up that I think look way better than the men's equivalent. I'll go through each piece in detail, show you what they look like on body, and talk you through the sizing. For reference, I'm 5'10", around 140 pounds, and I typically wear a 28 to 29 inch waist. I'll leave links to everything I'm wearing down in the description box below. Now I gotta start by saying all of today's pieces are from Uniclo, but this is not a sponsored video. I bought all of these pieces with my own money. I just find that their stuff fits me so well, especially the women's wear, so they're one of my go-to shops. So starting on bottom, I've got the Uniclo Baggy Jeans. To be honest, baggy jeans are one of those things that you actually can find in menswear because they're really popular at the moment. But I wanted to show you, just because these are labelled as women's jeans does not mean that only women can wear them. I got these in the classic blue denim, which is a colour I surprisingly didn't have in my collection. All of my jeans seem to be dark blue or black. These are a low-rise pair of jeans, so they're made to be worn around the hips rather than the waist. I picked them up in a 29 inch waist and 31 leg. Uniclo often offer their jeans in multiple leg lengths, which is really helpful. I change which leg length I buy based on the style I'm going for. If it was a slimmer fitting pair, I'd probably go for a shorter inside leg because I don't really like that stacking effect. For baggy and relaxed styles, I don't mind going a little longer inside leg so that the jeans hit a little bit lower. I don't even mind if they touch the floor slightly, as long as it's not ridiculous. If you saw my video about baggy jeans a few weeks ago, then you'll already know that I love to pair my New Balance 991s with relaxed pants. Even though they aren't super chunky, they still look really good with this style in my opinion. But despite these being labelled as a women's piece, there's really no difference between them and my men's baggy jeans. They fit well, there's loads of sizes available, and they're decently priced. Okay, moving on to the truly exciting stuff now, the tops. This is where women's clothing on men really shines in my opinion. Let's start off with this incredible jumper from the recent JW Anderson and Uniclo collaboration. JW Anderson is a British designer and his collections often have a focus on unisex clothing, so it's no surprise that this piece suits men and women. This is made of their souffle yarn, which is a soft, non-itchy fabric that is actually made from an acrylic wool blend. And like me, you're probably thinking, acrylic does not sound comfortable. Let me tell you, in this case, it absolutely is. I don't know what they've done, but it feels like cashmere to the touch. And because it's a wool blend, it has that coziness and heat retention without the itchiness. I also doubt it's going to shrink much in the wash, unlike their Lambswool pieces, which you have to be super careful with. Sizing on this is perfection for me. I went for a size medium. The chest and sleeves are relaxed, but the length of the body is short. It just hits perfectly at my waist, and when paired with these baggy jeans, you get that lovely bottom heavy look. Apart from the fit, the other thing that stood out to me with this jumper is the colours. It's a sort of speckled beige with a contrast off-white colour and sleeve cuffs. It also has the subtle JW Anderson embroidery on the nape. I don't have anything else like this in my rotation. It's quite a unique and striking piece when you see it in person. The jumper came in a few different colours and they all look so good, but the beige is definitely the winner for me. And I think the price is really reasonable at £34.90, so I'm just over the moon with this pickup. Alright, next up we have another piece from Uniclo's souffle range, and it's the short cardigan. You can tell straight away from the name, the cardigan is shorter in length, which is exactly why I got it. I really like the idea of cardigans, but just like button-ups, I often find they're way too long on me for some reason. That's fine if you just want to be cozy, But if you want to wear it in an outfit, I personally find it really difficult to style a longer length cardigan. I picked this up in a size medium and it hits absolutely spot on where I want it to, just at the waist, like the JW Anderson jumper. This gives me those aesthetic proportions when paired with the baggy jeans, but this will still work even with slimmer fitting pants. The sleeves are a perfect length as well. One thing you might come across with women's clothing is that the sleeve lengths can sometimes be a bit shorter. That's not the case with any of the pieces in today's videos, and I think that's because these are more relaxed styles, so the sleeves are longer. As I said, this is made of that same souffle yarn as the JW Anderson jumper, so it has that same super lightweight and soft texture that doesn't itch at all. I love the design of this particular cardigan with the 3 chunky buttons on the front and the 2 pockets as well. They're not particularly functional, to be honest, but they add a lot to the overall look of the cardigan in my opinion, and the piece just looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. I've got the off-white colour. I decided to go with this because the only light coloured tops I seem to have are button-up shirts. Although this cardigan comes in a range of colours, so there'll be something for everyone. I believe this in particular is one of their more popular items because I was after it in this colour for the longest time, but it was showing as out of stock. But just recently they seem to have restocked every size and colour, so now is probably the time to pick it up if you're interested in it. Okay, last up is going to be this premium Lambswool half zip jumper from the Uniclo C collection. Uniclo C is another collaboration collection, this time with designer Claire White Keller. She's a British designer who has worked with the likes of Chloe and Givenchy. This collection with Uniclo focuses on elevated essentials with fluid and relaxed silhouettes. Elevated essentials is kind of an overused phrase, but there's not really any other way to describe it. This piece is very true to the description of the collection. Half zip jumpers can be a little plain and basic, but this one has a unique look with the oversized collar, relaxed body, and of course, shortened length. It also has the rib detailing, which goes so well with these kind of wool pieces. And yes, it's 100% wool, so you are going to have to be a little bit careful when you're washing it. I've noticed that wool can shrink even if you follow the washing instructions to a T. My advice would be to size up if you're worried. I went for a size medium here. It's a little bit more of a snug fit compared to the jumper and cardigan, so if you're stockier than me, you will want to size up. Like the other pieces, this comes in a variety of colours. I went for navy because it's a colour I just don't really have in my rotation. This one is pretty dark and could be mistaken for black in some lighting. Again, this has a lovely shortened length compared to men's versions of this that I have tried. Apart from that though, the other stand-up feature is that oversized collar. It zips up really high and quite tight, almost turning into a turtleneck. So you can wear it like that, or what I like to do if it isn't too cold is to leave it unzipped and fold the collar down. This would look especially good if you've got some layers underneath or a nice neck piece. So there's some pieces that are supposed to be made for women, but I hope you can agree they look just as good on men, if not better. You're getting those unique shapes and silhouettes that are rare to see in menswear. And even though all these pieces were from Uniclo, I've picked up women's pieces from loads of different brands. Some of my favourites from the top of my head are COS, Weekday, and even sportswear brands like Nike and Adidas. If you're feeling uninspired, don't be afraid to have a look and try something new out. This will honestly unlock a whole new world of fashion for you. Anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable and useful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.